8 CEOs of the financial industry, and they were very contrite. Some of the congressmen yelled at him, and they said, "Oh yes, no, we hear you, we understand you." Here's Wells Fargo and Company Chief Executive John Stumpf. He said, "We're Americans first and bankers second." Get the fuck out of here, man. What are you going to do? You're going to turn down money because you don't want the American taxpayer to get hurt? You're Americans first and bankers second. My ass, what a joke. What a joke. This whole thing's a farce, this whole hearing. And then Barney Frank says at one point, and God bless him for this, he says, all right, well, if you guys are such great Americans, why don't you give the money back? The bonuses you got in the past. Oh, what? I couldn't hear you. Oh, I see. It turns out that part about being a banker first and banker second and American first, not so true. Of course they're not going to give the money back. And they asked him about bonuses they got in 2007. They were in the millions upon millions. And even this last year, 2008, as all the companies went under and needed bailouts, the range of salaries for the CEOs ranged from $600,000 to $1.5 million. Now you have to understand something. They think that's disastrously low. They're like, you see the sacrifices we've made? I only made $1.5 million this year. Because normally they make tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Why? Did they create something? Did they build a car? No. They figured out a way to get commissions and fees, etc., take these wild risks and skim off the top and skim off the top. They broke the system, and now they come and tell us, trust us. We've learned our lesson. We're going to fix the system. What a bunch of baloney. J.P. Morgan Chase and Company's Jamie Dimon says, we stand ready to do our part going forward. How about going backwards? What happened there? Oh, no. But trust us. We got to figure it out from now on. And John Mack, Chairman and CEO of Morgan Stanley, says, as an industry, we've clearly made mistakes. But he goes on to explain that they've learned from their mistakes. Wells Fargo's John Stumpf again says, no. Quote, we are frugal. Come on, man. The head of Goldman Sachs says they canceled a trip to Las Vegas they were going to do. They're going to San Francisco instead for a group gathering. Oh, wow, okay, well, you guys have learned your lessons. And the head of Citigroup says, we shouldn't have bought that $50 million jet, and I'm glad Obama spanked us over it, and we're not doing it anymore. Now, I will give the CEO of Citigroup some credit here. He's the only one that deserves any kind of credit for actually giving it a shot. Vikram Pandit said that he's going to take $1 salary until Citigroup is profitable again. Okay? So until they get their money back, everybody gets their money back, he's going to take only a $1 salary. Now, look, that's a better gesture than all the other ones. No question about it. But also, why is he in a position that he can only take a $1 salary? Can you survive on a $1 salary? No, I can't either, right? Why? Because he already made so much damn money in the past. And he's smart. He's saying, I don't want to lose all the money I have in the bank. That's the most important part. So let me do this grand gesture. And, by the way, but to be fair to Vikram Pandit, he said he was the only one out of all the CEOs that said, hey, we're going to stop the foreclosures until we can figure out, and Obama gives us guidance on how to handle the foreclosures going forward, because they're about to inject $50 billion into that. Whereas other CEOs, business as usual, they're like, look, we don't give a shit about the average consumer. We're going to crunch them. We're going to break their back. Yeah, hey, if they can't make the payments based on nonsense mortgages we set up, we're going to seize their house. Booyah. Business as usual. They haven't learned a damn thing, man.